Dearest soul, today I invite you to remember the most sacred truth. You are a creator, not by accident, not by luck, but by divine design. Within you lives an infinite power, and every word you write is a seed planted into the fertile soil of the universe. You may have thought journaling was just ink on paper, but I am here to remind you it is a sacred act of manifestation. Every sentence is a signal. Every word is a command. Everything you write can and will come true when you write from your heart, in faith, and in love. Let us explore this incredible truth together. When you sit down to write, something magical happens. You are no longer just thinking. You are choosing. You are focusing. Your mind, which often dances between worries of the past and fears of the future, begins to still. It becomes present. And in that presence, a new kind of power arises. The power of intention. Writing doesn't just help you express what's in your heart. It helps you discover what's truly there. So often we move through life on autopilot, reacting, surviving, adjusting to the expectations of others, or operating from unconscious patterns. But the moment you pick up a pen and put it to paper, you are declaring to the universe, this is what I desire. This is what I choose. This is who I am becoming. Writing brings you into a state of alignment. It creates a sacred container for your thoughts, where you can sort through the noise of the outer world and finally hear the whisper of your own inner truth. Your soul is always speaking, always guiding, but in the chaos of life, it's easy to miss it. That's why writing is so powerful. It quiets the outer voices so you can hear your inner one. Intention is a quiet but fierce energy. It doesn't beg, it doesn't force. It simply declares. And when you write with intention, you are channeling that energy directly from the realm of thought into the realm of form. You are no longer wishing or hoping. You are choosing. That is the difference. Hoping is passive. Intending is active. When you write your intentions, you begin to act as a conscious co-creator of your reality. Think about it. Every building you've ever stood in, every piece of music you've ever heard, every product you've ever held, all of it began with a thought, a vision, and often a written plan. The moment we write something down, we are giving it a structure. We are making it real. Even before anything changes around us, something changes within us. That change is the spark of all transformation. Let your writing be deliberate. Let it be infused with clarity. Instead of writing what you don't want, begin to write what you do. Don't write about your fears, write about your vision. Don't write from your wounds, write from your wisdom. This doesn't mean you ignore your pain. It means you acknowledge it and then ask yourself, what would I love instead? When you write with intention, your words become instructions to the universe, but more importantly, they become instructions to yourself. You are reprogramming your mind. You are setting your compass. You are building a bridge between where you are and where you desire to be. Even more beautiful is the way writing reveals what's unconscious. You may begin a sentence without knowing how it will end, and suddenly a truth you didn't know you had inside you appears on the page. That's the gift of intention. It unlocks hidden wisdom. It helps you remember what your soul has known all along. Each word becomes a step forward. Each sentence becomes a light shining into the fog of uncertainty. And the more you write, the more your energy aligns with your desires. The more your thoughts match the life you want, the faster that life finds its way to you. But don't worry about being perfect. Don't worry if your handwriting is messy or your sentences don't sound profound. The universe is not grading you. It is listening to you. What matters is that you write from the heart, that you write with love, with belief, with openness, that you take the time to sit with yourself and say, this is what I truly want. This is what I choose for myself now. And then watch what begins to shift. Because when you write with intention, you do more than communicate. You activate. You are speaking the language of energy. You are creating a sacred imprint that begins to echo through your actions, your thoughts, your choices, and even the people you attract. You are not just writing your life story, you are rewriting it. You are editing out the doubt. You are removing the old chapters that no longer serve you, and you are choosing to craft a new narrative, one built on faith, purpose, and love. Every word you speak, every phrase you write, every story you tell yourself weaves the fabric of your reality. Your words are not just sounds in the air or ink on a page. They are powerful vibrations that ripple out into the universe, shaping how you think, how you feel, and ultimately how you live. You may not always notice it, but the language you use is the blueprint for your beliefs. And your beliefs create your world. When you begin to understand this truth, you realize that words are not harmless or casual. They are creative tools. They carry energy. They hold intention, and most importantly, they program your mind. If you constantly say, I'm always tired, your body listens. If you say, nothing ever works out for me, life mirrors that belief. The outer world reflects the inner dialogue. That is why it is so vital to choose your words with love, with care, and with purpose. Because what you repeat, you begin to believe. And what you believe, you start to live. Words are not just descriptions, they are directions. Every time you say something, you're giving yourself a message, and over time, those messages shape your expectations and actions. For example, if you keep affirming, I can't, you are building invisible walls around your potential. But when you say, I can, you open the door. Your words either limit you or liberate you. They can shrink your world down into a space of fear and doubt, or they can expand it into a field of possibilities. The choice is always yours. What's more beautiful is that your body, your mind, and your spirit all respond to the language you use. Say, I am loved, and notice the warmth that rises in your chest. Say, I am safe, and feel your shoulders relax. Say, I am enough, and witness how your energy shifts. These aren't just phrases, they're healing medicine. Your nervous system, your subconscious, your cells, they all receive your words as truth. So why not speak to yourself like someone you love? Why not become your greatest encourager, your most devoted believer, your most tender guide? So many people wait for someone else to say the words they long to hear. You matter. You are beautiful. You're doing a great job. But those words become exponentially more powerful when they come from you, because when you say them, you start to believe them. And when you believe them, you start to live like they're true. Even in challenging moments, you can choose words that support rather than sabotage. Instead of saying, I failed, you can say, I'm learning. Instead of, I'll never be happy, say, I'm on my way to happiness. You're not lying to yourself. You're choosing a more loving perspective. You're rewriting your story in a way that gives you hope, not despair. And this doesn't mean you deny your emotions. It means you hold space for them while speaking life over yourself. You can say, this is hard, but I trust that I'm going through it. That kind of language doesn't suppress pain. It transforms it. Every morning when you wake up, you are offered a blank page. And what you write on that page matters. If you write, today will be beautiful, your mind starts searching for beauty. If you write, I am blessed, you begin to notice your blessings. Your words guide your focus, and your focus shapes your experience. This is the miracle of language. It doesn't just describe your life. It creates it. So speak what you seek, write what you wish to become, Say things that nourish your soul. Replace criticism with compassion. Swap doubt for trust. Turn "I can't" into "I'm willing to try." Let your vocabulary be filled with love, light, and possibility. You have the power to change your world by changing your words. And the beautiful thing is, you can begin right now. In this very moment, you can pause, breathe, and say something new. You can speak life over your dreams. You can affirm your worth. You can choose a sentence that uplifts your spirit rather than drains it. And if ever you forget how powerful you are, just look back at the times when one kind word made your whole day better, or when someone's hurtful words stayed with you for years. That's how real it is. That's how deep it goes. Words don't disappear after they're spoken. They echo in the mind, in the heart, in the soul. So use them wisely, use them lovingly, use them intentionally. Because your words become your thoughts become your beliefs become your habits, and your habits become your life. And when you begin to speak from a place of truth, kindness, and self-love, you begin to create a world that reflects all of that right back to you. There is something sacred about the act of writing, something timeless, something deeply personal, yet profoundly universal. It's more than just putting words on paper. It is a ritual, a communion between you and the unseen parts of yourself. Each time you sit down with pen in hand or fingers on the keyboard, you are entering into a space of reflection, connection, and creation. You are not just writing, you are participating in a ceremony of self-discovery. In a world that moves so fast, where distractions are constant and silence is rare, writing invites you to pause. It gently pulls you out of the chaos and into stillness. You can feel it, how everything slows when the words begin to flow. You breathe a little deeper. Your shoulders soften. Your heart opens. You enter into the now, fully present with your thoughts, your feelings, your truth. Writing becomes a mirror. It reflects back to you what's been hidden beneath the surface. Sometimes it surprises you, sometimes it frees you, sometimes it heals you, but it always shows you something real. In that sacred space, you no longer have to pretend, perform, or protect. You are safe, you are seen, you are held by the page. It doesn't matter what you're writing, a dream, a journal entry, a prayer, a plan, a letter never meant to be sent. The form doesn't matter. What matters is the intention behind it. What matters is your presence. Because when you write with awareness, when you write with heart, when you write with a desire to understand or express or grow, you are engaging in ritual. And like any true ritual, it brings transformation. The words may start out tangled, confused, or uncertain, but as you continue, clarity comes, peace comes, direction comes. Sometimes you begin writing about one thing and end up discovering something entirely different, something deeper. That's the magic. That's the mystery. Writing reveals what thinking alone cannot. It is an invitation to come home to yourself. When you write regularly, you begin to notice patterns. You notice what themes keep showing up. You notice where you've grown and where you still carry pain. You start to see your life as a story, rich, meaningful, evolving. You no longer feel like a victim of your circumstances. You realize you are the author. You get to decide how this next chapter will unfold. There's also a grounding energy in writing, a ritualistic rhythm. The sound of the pen scratching across the page, the quiet tapping of keys, the way your mind slows to meet your hand. It becomes a meditation, a form of prayer, a sacred exchange between spirit and self. You are not just capturing thoughts. You are anchoring intentions. You are giving shape to the invisible. You are co-creating with the universe. Every word you write is an offering. Every sentence is a spark. And each time you return to the page, you are reminding yourself, my voice matters. My story matters. I matter. Writing is one of the oldest forms of healing. Long before therapy and technology and the modern distractions we know today, people wrote. They wrote their stories, their dreams, their confessions, their songs, their truths. They wrote to understand themselves. They wrote to connect with something greater. They wrote to remember who they really were. You can do the same. Create your own writing ritual. Light a candle, brew a cup of tea, find a quiet corner, set the intention to connect with yourself. Then write freely. Write from the heart. Let the words rise without judgment. Let them be messy. Let them be raw. Let them be honest. That is where the power lives, in the honesty. Writing doesn't have to be perfect. It only has to be real. The ritual isn't about performance, it's about presence. It's about honoring the sacred within you and allowing it to speak. When you make writing a daily ritual, even for just a few minutes, you begin to shift your inner world. You become more compassionate, more conscious, more aligned. You begin to listen to your intuition. You begin to notice the small miracles. You begin to live more intentionally, more gracefully, more awake, and that in itself is transformation. So return to the page whenever you feel lost, whenever your heart is heavy, whenever the world feels loud. Return to the page when you're celebrating, dreaming, reflecting, or simply needing a moment of peace. Let the ritual of writing hold you, guide you, and remind you of the power that lives within your own voice. Every thought you repeat, every belief you hold, every word you speak with emotion becomes a message that is planted deep within your subconscious mind. Whether you realize it or not, you are always programming yourself. And when you choose to do it consciously with love and awareness, you begin to transform your life from the inside out. Your subconscious mind is powerful beyond measure. It is the silent force that guides your behavior, your decisions, your relationships, and your outcomes. It runs your life like a program runs a computer. Whatever it has accepted as truth, whether positive or negative, it works tirelessly to prove and reflect back to you. The beliefs stored in your subconscious are not always yours by choice. Many of them were passed down by family, absorbed through childhood experiences, or shaped by repeated exposure to fear, criticism, or doubt. You may have learned to believe you're not good enough, not smart enough, not lovable. And even though those beliefs are not the truth of who you are, your subconscious accepts them if they've been repeated long enough, especially with strong emotion attached. But here is the miracle. You can change those beliefs. You can reprogram your subconscious. You can gently and powerfully install new beliefs that support your healing, your joy, your success, and your self-love. This is not wishful thinking. It's deep, energetic work. It takes consistency, repetition, and feeling. But it is entirely possible. And it begins with the words you speak and the thoughts you choose. Every time you affirm something positive about yourself, you are giving your subconscious new instructions. When you say, I am worthy, I am safe, or I am healing, you are feeding your inner mind new truths to accept and act upon. At first, these affirmations may feel unfamiliar. You might not believe them yet. That's okay. Your job is not to force belief, it's to practice presence. Speak the words anyway. Let them settle in. Let them be like seeds planted in fertile soil. Over time, they take root. Emotion amplifies programming. That's why negative beliefs formed through trauma or heartbreak can feel so deeply ingrained. But the same principle can work in your favor. When you speak your affirmations with feeling, with gratitude, hope, love, or determination, you send a stronger message to your subconscious. It begins to wake up. It begins to listen. And slowly, the old patterns begin to loosen their grip. Visualization is another powerful way to reprogram your subconscious. When you close your eyes and imagine yourself living your dream, succeeding in your goals, loving and accepting yourself fully, your subconscious experiences it as real. It doesn't distinguish between imagination and reality. So the more you visualize the life you want, the more your inner mind aligns with that image, and the more your external world begins to reflect it. Writing is also a sacred tool. When you write affirmations, intentions, or gratitude lists regularly, you are creating new neural pathways in the brain. You're reinforcing new beliefs. You're showing your subconscious that this is your truth now. You're saying, this is who I choose to be. And the subconscious, without resistance, begins to adapt. There may still be old patterns that try to rise, doubts, fears, or memories that whisper, you can't. But you don't have to argue with them. You don't have to believe them. Just return to your truth. Return to your practice. Gently say, that's the old story. I choose a new one now. And then repeat the new belief with love and patience. Every time you do this, you weaken the old and strengthen the new. Reprogramming your subconscious is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing the thoughts that support your healing, your growth, and your self-worth. It's about deciding to no longer be a prisoner to beliefs that were never yours to begin with. You get to choose again. You get to reclaim your mind and your life. You don't need to rush. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be willing. Willing to show up, willing to speak kindly to yourself, willing to believe even a little that change is possible. Because once that willingness is there, the subconscious begins to respond. It begins to rewire, and you begin to feel more peaceful, more powerful, more connected to your true self. You are not stuck. You are not broken. You are not defined by your past. You are a creator. And every thought you choose, every word you speak, every loving affirmation you repeat is a brush stroke on the canvas of your life. So speak life into yourself. Speak joy, speak love, speak strength. Repeat what you want to believe until it becomes who you are. Your subconscious is listening, and it is ready to support your transformation. There is something incredibly freeing about writing. It is not just a tool for expression, it is a gentle and powerful way to release resistance. The resistance you carry, whether it's doubt, fear, confusion, or emotional heaviness, can weigh down your energy and cloud your clarity. But the moment you begin to write, that inner tension starts to dissolve. Words flow, emotions surface, and the tightness in your chest begins to loosen. Writing becomes your sanctuary, a safe space where you can be raw, unfiltered, and real. When you write, you allow yourself to witness what you've been carrying. You give yourself permission to look at your inner world with compassion. Sometimes you don't even know what's blocking you until you begin to write. That's the beauty of it. The page becomes a mirror that reflects your unspoken thoughts, your buried emotions, and your silent battles. It becomes a release valve for the pressure you didn't know you were under. Resistance shows up in many ways. It can sound like procrastination, perfectionism, overwhelm, or the belief that you're not good enough. It can feel like stuck energy in your body, or like a wall between you and what you truly desire. It's not always loud. Sometimes it's quiet and subtle, like a constant hum of self-doubt or a lingering fear of change. But once you begin to write about it, you take away its power. You bring it into the light, and what is brought into the light begins to heal. Writing doesn't judge you. The page doesn't criticize or interrupt. It simply holds space. It says, tell me everything. And when you pour out your thoughts, even the messy, confusing, or painful ones, you create space for clarity. You begin to see the patterns. You begin to understand your triggers. you begin to notice the stories you've been telling yourself, and you realize you have the power to change them. It's not about writing beautifully. It's not about grammar, spelling, or structure. It's about truth. It's about release. It's about saying what you've been afraid to say, even if it's only to yourself. That act alone is healing. It lifts the weight from your heart and gives your emotions room to breathe. It clears the fog from your mind so you can think clearly again. Writing also helps you make peace with the present moment. When you write what you're feeling, you stop resisting what is. You stop fighting with your own experience and instead allow it to move through you. This acceptance opens the door to transformation. You begin to realize that your emotions are not your enemy. They are messengers. And writing is how you listen to them with love. As resistance melts, what remains is clarity. You may find solutions to problems that once felt impossible. You may uncover desires you had buried. You may hear your intuition speak clearly for the first time in a while. Writing creates space for guidance. It connects you to your higher self, the wise part of you that always knows what you need. When you write consistently, especially during times of emotional intensity, you begin to shift your energy. You stop bottling things up. You stop pretending you're okay when you're not. And in doing so, you begin to feel lighter, more centered, more aligned with your true self. Journaling can be one of the most powerful ways to release resistance. Even 5 or 10 minutes a day can make a difference. You might start with a simple prompt. What am I feeling right now? Or what's been weighing on me? Then let your words flow without editing or filtering. Let them be messy. Let them be honest. Let them be yours. Over time, you will begin to notice the shifts. You'll catch yourself being more patient, more open, more grounded. The things that once triggered you will lose their grip. You'll feel a greater sense of trust in yourself and in life. That's what happens when resistance is released. Your natural peace rises to the surface. You are not here to carry the weight of your emotions alone. You are not here to bottle up your truth. You are here to feel, to express, to heal, and to grow. Writing is your ally on that journey. It helps you empty the noise so you can hear your soul. So whenever you feel stuck, heavy, anxious, or lost, return to the page. Let your pen or your fingers guide you. Trust that whatever needs to be said will come forward, and know that with every word you write, you are softening the walls inside you. You are releasing what no longer serves you, and you are making room for peace, clarity, and new beginnings. Gratitude is one of the most powerful energies you can align yourself with. It's more than just saying thank you. It is a deep, energetic acknowledgement of all that is good, all that is working, and all that is already in motion for your highest good. When you live in gratitude, you begin to see how your life is always conspiring to support you, heal you, and bless you. Gratitude doesn't wait for perfection. It finds wholeness in the now. And the more you lean into that energy, the more you accelerate the process of manifestation. Manifestation begins not with wishing, but with believing. Gratitude makes your belief stronger because it shifts your focus from lack to abundance. Instead of noticing what's missing, you begin to see all that you already have. And what you appreciate, appreciates. The more you give thanks, the more you invite even greater blessings to flow into your life. It's a natural law. What you focus on expands. When you are in a state of gratitude, you raise your vibration. You align yourself with love, with joy, with possibility. And manifestation responds not to what you want, but to who you are being. You could want something very badly, but if you're focused on the absence of it, you send out a signal of lack. Gratitude flips that signal. It says, I see the good already. I trust even more is on its way, and that trust becomes magnetic. Gratitude also softens resistance. When you're feeling stuck, it's often because your mind is fixated on what's wrong, what's not happening fast enough, or what didn't go as planned. That creates tension. And tension blocks flow. But when you pause and start listing the things you're grateful for, your breath, your body, a roof over your head, a kind word from someone, even just the sunlight coming through your window, you shift the energy, you release the grip, you let life move again. The universe responds to gratitude like a garden responds to rain. It blooms, it multiplies, it nourishes the seeds you've planted. Your desires are already heard, already being prepared for you. Gratitude is what keeps your heart open and receptive to receive them. It's easy to be grateful when things are going well, but the true power comes when you can choose gratitude, even in the waiting, even in the uncertainty, even in the storm. That's when you show the universe that you are grounded in faith, not fear. And faith is what accelerates every manifestation. Gratitude says, I may not see it yet, but I know it's already mine. That kind of inner certainty is unstoppable. One of the most transformative practices is to begin and end your day with gratitude. In the morning, list 3 things you are grateful for before you even get out of bed. At night, write down 3 more things that bless your day. These moments train your mind to look for the good. Over time, your entire perspective shifts, and manifestation becomes a natural extension of your energy. You can also infuse gratitude directly into your desires. When writing your intentions, don't just say, I want this. Instead, say, thank you for this. Act as if it's already done. Feel the joy of already having it. This simple shift makes your intention more powerful because it's rooted in trust rather than longing. You move from hoping to knowing. And that's the sweet spot where miracles are born. Gratitude also deepens your connection with yourself. When you take time to appreciate how far you've come, the strength you've shown, the lessons you've learned, even the ones that hurt, you cultivate deep self-love. And when you love yourself, you naturally align with abundance. You stop settling, you stop chasing, you know your worth, and you allow life to meet you at that level. Yeah, you don't have to wait for everything to be perfect to be thankful. Gratitude is not a destination, it's a way of traveling. It's how you walk through life with an open heart. And when you walk that way, you will notice things beginning to shift. The right people show up, the right opportunities find you, the answers come, the healing begins. Not because you forced it, but because you welcomed it with appreciation. Your energy is always creating, your emotions are always attracting, and gratitude is the highest invitation you can send out into the universe. It says, I am ready, I am grateful, I am open to receive. So let your heart give thanks again and again, even before the evidence shows up. Because gratitude isn't about having everything. It's about recognizing the beauty in what you have and trusting in what's on the way. That trust is your power. That energy is your magnet. And that is how manifestation becomes your way of life.